Hello friends, in this video we are going to see the 100 United States dollars Federal Reserve Standard Circulation banknote, which was launched in the years from 2009 to 2017 by the government of the United States of America. These banknotes were printed by the Federal Reserve, the Central Bank of the United States of America, and were printed at Bureau of Engraving and Printing, United States. Now let us see the physical structure of the banknote. It is a rectangular-shaped banknote made from hybrid substrate material that is 75% cotton and 25% linen and contains red and blue security fibers. It is printed using the intaglio technique, that is, raised printing technique, which can be felt by soft touch on the note surface, which gives genuine Federal Reserve notes their distinctive texture. The banknote includes background colors of green and blue. The size of the banknote is 156 mm by 67 mm. On the obverse side of the banknote, if there is FW before the upper left plate number, it indicates that the note was printed at the Bureau of Engraving and Printing Satellite Facility in Fort Worth, Texas, and if there is no FW before the upper left plate number, it indicates that the note was printed at the Bureau of Engraving and Printing's facility in Washington, D.C. In the serial number of the banknote, the presence of a star at the end of the serial number indicates a replacement note. Now let us discuss the obverse side of the banknote. When the note is observed from the left to right side, we can see that it has a denominational numeral 100 on all four corners of the note. The numeral 100 in the lower right corner of the note is printed by color shifting ink. It shifts the color from copper to green when the note is tilted. Next, it has a Federal Reserve Bank seal, which is a black seal to the left of the portrait, which represents the entire Federal Reserve System. A letter and number beneath the left serial number identifies the distributing Federal Reserve Bank. Code letters of the Federal Reserve branches are as follows: A1 Boston, Massachusetts, B2 New York, New York, C3 Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, D4 Cleveland, Ohio, E5 Richmond, Virginia, F6 Atlanta, Georgia, G7 Chicago, Illinois, H8 St. Louis, Missouri, I9 Minneapolis, Minnesota, J10 Kansas City, Missouri, K11 Dallas, Texas, and L12 San Francisco, California. Next, at the center, it has the portrait of Benjamin Franklin, who was one of the founding fathers of the United States, a drafter and signer of the Declaration of Independence. It also has the lettering Franklin below the portrait of Benjamin Franklin. Next, on its right side, the printing series year is mentioned. Next, it has a Treasury seal, which is a green seal to the right of the portrait, which represents the U.S. Department of the Treasury. It also has denominational numeral 100 written along with the seal. Next, in English, the United States of America appear above the Treasury seal. Next, it has lettering. This note is legal tender for all debts, public and private, in English below it. Next, it has a serial number on the top left side, above the Federal Reserve Bank seal, and on the bottom right side, below the Treasury seal. And next, it has signature of the Secretary of the Treasury, and it has signature of the Treasurer of the United States on the bottom left side of the portrait of Benjamin Franklin. On the upper side of the note, on the right side, it has $100 written in English, and, on the left side, it has Federal Reserve Note written in English. The note consists of key security features, such as, when observed from left to right, it has a security thread, which is an embedded thread running vertically to the left of the portrait of Benjamin Franklin. The thread is imprinted with the text USA and the numeral 100 in an alternating pattern, and, when the note is seen in light, the thread is visible from both sides of the note. The thread glows pink when illuminated by ultraviolet light. Next, it has a 3D security ribbon, which is a blue ribbon woven into the paper and not printed on it, which is running vertically to the right of the portrait of Benjamin Franklin. When the note is tilted back and forth while focusing on the blue ribbon, the bells change to 100s as they move. When the note is tilted back and forth, the bells and 100s move side to side, and when the note is tilted side to side, the bells and 100s move up and down. Next, it has a bell in the inkwell, which is a color-shifting bell in the copper inkwell, which is to the right of the portrait of Benjamin Franklin. Next to the 3D security ribbon, when the note is tilted, the color-shifting bell in the copper inkwell change from copper to green, an effect which makes the bell seem to appear and disappear within the inkwell. And next, it has a watermark, which consists of a faint image of Benjamin Franklin in the blank space to the right of the portrait of Benjamin Franklin. When the note is seen in light, this image is visible from both sides of the note. The note also consists of additional design and security features, such as, it has American symbols of freedom printed in the background in the design, which are the phrases from the United States Declaration of Independence. And the quill that the Founding Fathers of the United States of America used to sign the historic document are printed in the background to the right of the portrait of Benjamin Franklin. And next, it has micro-printing security feature, which are as follows. The small printed text "The United States of America" on Benjamin Franklin's jacket collar. Next, the small printed text "USA" repeated in the note border below the portrait of Benjamin Franklin. Next, the small printed text "USA 100" around the blank space containing the portrait watermark of Benjamin Franklin. Next, the small printed text "100 USA" along the golden quill. And next, the small printed numeral 100s repeated within both side borders of the note. Now let us discuss the reverse side of the banknote. When the note is observed from the left to right side, we can see that it has a denominational numeral 100 on both of the left corners of the note, and it has the large gold numeral 100 in the right corner of the note, which helps those with visual impairments to distinguish the denomination. Next, at the center, it features the picture of the Independence Hall, which is the historic civic building in Philadelphia, where both the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States of America were debated and adopted by the Founding Fathers of the United States of America. The structure, that is, the Independence Hall, which is the centerpiece of Independence National Historical Park, is located at 520 Chestnut Street between 5th and 6th Streets, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the United States of America. And next, above the image of the Independence Hall, it has the lettering, "In God We Trust" in English, which is the official motto of the United States of America. On the upper side of the note, in English, "The United States of America" appear on the center. On the lower side of the note, it has the lettering "Independence Hall" in English on the center, and below it, it also shows denominational value $100 in English on the center. Here, we reach the end of this video. Hope you liked it. Thank you very much for watching the video. See you soon. Goodbye.